Hello and welcome to this segment of our module. In our other lectures, we've discussed the concept and principles of operant conditioning. In today's lecture, we are going to understand how these principles can be applied in different settings with the intention of encouraging effective learning. Even though the basic concept remains the same, it has proven to be an efficacious intervention in a number of disciplines like education, sports, counseling, psychotherapy, workplace, health, marketing and advertising. We will be exploring each of these areas today. The first area which underwent a revolution for motivating desirable behavior has to be education. Its application can be seen right from preschool all the way up to post-graduation. These largely come under the domain of classroom management. It involves techniques to encourage desirable classroom behavior. In preschool, it can be seen in the form of stars that are given to children who come on time, are presentable and engage in activities in class. These motivate children in continuing these behaviors. Stars act as rewards or positive reinforcements. Another way in which the concepts of operant conditioning are applied is to facilitate learning of new skills. Language, for example, is formally introduced in our kindergarten classes. At that time, regular feedback and reinforcement is provided at every step of learning the basics of alphabets, how to write them, pronounce them and identify them. These provide guidance to the children and improve their understanding. This technique is also called shaping. Shaping is a process of providing reinforcements at successively closer and closer approximations of a desirable behavior. So, in the same example, first reinforcement can be given to a child when they are able to hold a pencil somewhat correctly. The subsequent reinforcements are provided when the child is able to attempt writing alphabets and then as it comes closer to the exact form of the alphabet expected. Such immediate feedback about their behavior also helps them to curtail unhelpful writing habits. In higher grades, remarks or extra work given by teachers are examples of positive punishment. At the same time, good grades can work as positive reinforcements. While doing away with extra work to be done in holidays, if the students are behaving well, can be an example of negative reinforcement. Another way in which operant conditioning might influence education is the process of curriculum and textbook design. Over the years, there has been an increasing effort to make the textbooks as engaging and relevant as possible. This is achieved by using colorful illustrations, examples applicable to everyday life and lucid language. This is just another way of reinforcing better study habits. An upcoming niche that is using the concepts of operant conditioning is the area of sports and training. We see more and more top international players and athletes speaking about the mental aspect of games. Mental training is becoming a big part of preparing for the top level, almost at par with physical training. In this context, using techniques of reinforcement can influence the mental training by leaps. Learning new skills and techniques can be streamlined by having schedules of reinforcement or something like shaping. Shaping technique with the help of shaping hierarchies can make the process of learning fairly smooth. Imagine teaching a young cricket player the correct bowling action. The shaping hierarchy can look something like this. Take a smooth run up to gain momentum. Jump and get into a position. The non-bowling arm should reach the highest position. Land and take your bowling arm to the position of release without bending it. Release the ball. Follow through. Each level of this hierarchy can be reinforced successively till the ultimate action is performed. When the player fails, they need not be criticized or punished. Instead, the drill can continue and praise will be given when each step towards the end goal is accomplished. Another hurdle in professional sports is to maintain a very high level of consistency. This can be in terms of diet, exercise, training, skill building as well as resting. Motivation plays a very important role here. Reinforcements can be used in various ways to improve and sustain motivation. Right from the praise given for a desirable action, technique or decision to incentives like enough recovery time and appreciation. It is paramount to have these reinforcements immediately after a desirable behavior occurs in order for it to get associated with the preceding behavior. At the same time, it needs to be specific to the behavior. These techniques also work in team sports to inculcate healthy team oriented behaviors. Now let us take a pen and paper and see if we can fill in the blanks with correct words. Dash is a technique of reinforcing successively closer approximations to a desirable behavior. Positive feedback can act as a dash. Answers are shaping, positive reinforcement. Operant conditioning has been used on a large scale in counseling and psychotherapy. It is the theoretical basis of behavior therapy, which is a branch of psychotherapy used for a range of emotional and behavioral problems, especially among children. It has also proven its efficacy to initiate behavior modifications and change in adult population. We will discuss a few specific techniques used. In counseling, it is very important to first understand what is the behavior that is currently happening, in which situations is it observed, triggers that might precede that behavior, and importantly, consequences that maintain it. Without this information, behavior change is almost impossible. Behavior analysis is a method that helps us find answers to these questions. In this technique, the counselor gathers information about a specific undesirable behavior that needs to be modified and defines its nature. Next, they identify the triggers or antecedents present whenever the behavior occurs. Lastly, the consequences of this behavior are noted, especially in terms of positive or negative reinforcements. Behavior modification can then be used to reduce the undesirable behavior by changing the reinforcements or to motivate alternative desirable behaviors by reinforcing them. Behavior modification can be planned by using a technique called contingency management. It is used to modify various maladaptive or unhealthy behaviors. It can also be used to initiate lifestyle changes for managing substance abuse and addiction. Contingency management uses reinforcement as the foundation for facilitating a desirable behavior change. The first step in developing a contingency management program is to define the different parameters of a desirable behavior. These need to be specific and measurable. Then we need to outline the kind of reinforcement that will be provided. The next important step is to understand the magnitude and frequency in which reinforcements will be given. For this, principles of schedules of reinforcement can be used. There has to be a mechanism to record desirable behavior accurately. And lastly, there needs to be a time limit up to which a change in behavior is expected to be seen. Let us have a look at this simple contingency management schedule to understand how it is done. Siddharth, a 22-year-old boy, wants to inculcate the habit of regular exercise. We use contingency management to facilitate behavior change. The target desirable behavior is first defined. Workout of 30 minutes on weekdays. This can include brisk walking, yoga, strength training or floor exercises at home or in gym. This cannot include other activities like dancing, cleaning, etc. 30 minutes of workout has to be outside of these other activities. Next, the reinforcement is planned. At the end of the week, Siddharth can avail an incentive of choice like eating his favorite snack, which works as a positive reinforcement. The schedule, as is clear, is a fixed interval schedule of reinforcement, where reinforcement is given after a specific amount of time has elapsed. Observers or video recordings of workouts can be used for monitoring purposes. One more application of operant conditioning can be seen in industrial psychology. Industrial psychology focuses on aspects like job satisfaction, work motivation, leadership, work engagement, team building, and performance appraisals, among other things. Reinforcement concepts can be very useful in all these areas. We will discuss a few ways in which it can be applied. Token economy, another type of contingency management, involves giving some points or tokens whenever there is a display of desirable behavior. A number of such points or tokens can be collected and exchanged for other rewards. These rewards can be in form of small gifts or discounts on certain services, among other things. Some token systems also have a response cost. So, if there is an undesirable behavior that is observed, tokens might get deducted. This system can be adopted for reinforcing a range of behaviors. Job satisfaction of employees can be improved by making the work more rewarding. There are individual differences in what motivates people to do well. Increasing productivity and output can be made possible with carefully planned rewards that satisfy their needs. Incentives can work as reinforcements to this behavior, but these incentives need to be such that they tap what motivates different individuals. For some people, money can be rewarding, and giving them bonus or increments can encourage productivity. For others, power or autonomy can be motivating. If the human resource management vertical recognizes these differences, appropriate incentives can be planned. Many companies now work as teams. When different people from diverse backgrounds come together, there can be a huge scope for conflicts. To avoid such situations that will ultimately hinder smooth functioning of companies, team building behaviors should be promoted. Reinforcements can encourage pro-team behaviors like clear communication, accountability, empathy, acceptance, and inclusive attitudes. Perks can be offered to reinforce these specific behaviors as well, like identifying employees who engage in these manners and giving them recognition or additional benefits. A lot of companies also extend their benefits like health insurance to family members, so to increase the chance of employees to continue working for the company. A general flexibility in work culture and inclusive policies can act as rewards to increase employees' commitment. Let us now see if we can identify whether these statements are true or false. First, contingency management involves an increase in undesirable behavior. Second, points recorded on membership cards at every purchase that can be redeemed later is an example of token economy. Answers. The first statement is false because contingency management is done for increasing desirable behavior. The second statement is true because the points are like tokens that can be exchanged for other reinforcers. Operant conditioning principles can also be applied in the field of health psychology. Health promoting behaviors can be rewarded using contingency management. Behaviors like regular exercise, balanced diet, sound sleep, monitoring health parameters can be reinforced to ensure better physical health. A technique called PREMAC can be used for this purpose. The PREMAC principle uses any high probability behavior to reinforce a low probability behavior. It can be done by identifying what an individual likes and is very likely to do. Do you remember what your grandmother would do to make you eat your green leafy vegetables when you were little? If you liked chocolates, then they would be given only alongside a green leafy vegetable. Thus, a high probability behavior of eating chocolate can act as a reinforcer to increase a low probability behavior of eating green leafy vegetables. A few health insurance companies have specialized apps designed to record everyday movement, steps, sleep hours as well as diet. When the insured person engages in these health enhancing behaviors, it allocates certain points to that person's account. These can be used to get discounts on premiums paid for renewing their health insurance. The individual is able to pay lesser money, thereby motivating healthy behavior. They work as negative reinforcement. Such use of technology is also seen in various smartphones or smartwatches where incentives or tokens help promote healthy behaviors. Increasing evidence also supports operant learning theory to manage chronic pain and associated behaviors. Pain expression, verbalization and avoidance of physical activity promotes recovery to a certain extent. But beyond a point, these behaviors can delay recovery by discouraging use of that part of the body which is experiencing pain. In such scenarios, a behavioral analysis to identify consequences that might maintain the pain behaviors can be conducted. Followed by this, reinforcements can be modified to achieve the desirable output of pain management. The vaccination drives that have been taking place at large levels also benefit from applying reinforcement principles. Celebrities posting about taking vaccines or giving incentives like free vaccines and even making processes like travel much smoother for people who have been fully vaccinated are all examples of the same. Lastly, a growing field in this day and age is consumerism and advertisement. Many consumer psychologists work exclusively to help sell different products to the target population. Here too, operant conditioning can be seen. Incentives like money back, discounts or free goodies encourage consumers to buy certain products. With this, we have come to the end of today's discussion and this module. I hope it was interesting for you to see how frequently we use principles of operant conditioning in our day-to-day life. It provides a good framework for making behavior change possible. We have discussed the different areas where it can be applied like education, sports, industry, counseling, health and marketing. Thank you.